we want to make a dollar, right? We want to make a living. But if you go after that first, I truly think that that's just the wrong way to approach it. It should be helping people first, and the rest takes care of itself.
Let's dig into your business. Now, you two focus mostly on commercial real estate, correct?
Yep.
All right. So if you were to say, let's dig in a couple things. What makes you guys unique in your space?
I think the biggest thing, and Pete would agree with me here, is we're leveraging Keller Williams and everything that it has to offer. From a national level, we are the biggest real estate brand. I truly believe that. We're able to dive in with all of the connections that we're able to make across the country, and not only bring value to them, but also collaborate. A lot of the OPs and the team leads, and even just agents in the offices now, we're working on deals with them, advising them, collaborating with them at a high level.
Yeah, so let's dig into that, because I think you are a couple of people who've really taken advantage of this idea that Keller Williams is a platform. So if you imagine 824 market centers, 2,500 physical locations just in the United States, you've put your product on the shelf of every one of those offices is a way to think about that, right? And we'll dig into that. But what made you look up and say, hey, this is the largest real estate company in the world under one brand. We're going to put our products on the shelves of every store?
Yeah, I think when Pete and I met, we fell into this kind of almost by accident. So we helped a local market center, maybe 40 minutes away from us, right outside of Philadelphia, renegotiate their office lease. And that's when Pete and I looked at each other, and I think the light bulbs went off at the same time. We said, if we can help, someone down the street, why can't we take this much larger? And, we're lucky enough to have a well-connected OP in our office, Mike McCann, who helped us start to get our name out there locally, and it kind of exploded from there.
Mike McCann, the real estate man, to be accurate. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
right.
So because of that referral, I know you're working on a large number of, helping a large number of Keller Williams market centers or franchises work on their expenses in the kind of ambiguous market we're living in right now. And so on that front, what are you finding with most lease situations right now?
Yeah, I think you could probably, start to dive in there a little bit more, as you're the one analyzing them. So we work in tandem. Pete analyzes the leases, gets them to me, and then I really run the front line from there. So go ahead, bud.
Yeah, we see a lot of market centers who renegotiated their lease on unfavorable terms, whether it was before the pandemic or during the pandemic, who didn't have proper representation, didn't really know what they were locking themselves into. Then a couple years down the road, they look to renegotiate their leases when they're up for renewal, but they've already started off on bad terms. So the renegotiation process is going to build upon those bad terms that they originally agreed upon. So we come in and we look at their lease and see how we can renegotiate it better for them, and see if we can get those terms kind of reset and back on track.
These landlords took advantage in many situations of where the market was, and now when we come in with data and actually some experience here, we're able to really negotiate a fair deal, with some free rent, other concessions up front, and different ways that we can help the tenant, whether that's Keller Williams or anyone else. Coming with data always helps. If we just tried to walk in and say, hey, this is unfair, and we didn't have data ready to go, it would be a little bit tougher. And that's why we're lucky with the resources that we have to be able to do so.
Yeah, so you happen to be in and I'm just going to call it a niche, and it's a very valuable niche, but you're in a niche where you're using Keller Williams as a platform by helping every franchise owner with potentially 2,500 different leases, yep, renegotiate, get favorable terms, all those good things. I like you said free. I was hoping you were going that direction. But if you're talking to the other 177,000 agents out there in the United States and Canada, and they have a product or a niche or a special interest or something they're great at, how would you tell them to kind of put their product on the shelf of every store in the country?
I think starting with your local market center and your local office, leverage connections from there, right? I think at least once a day, someone will pop into our office here and say, hey, Ty, Pete, we have a lead for you. So starting there and making yourself an expert in whatever it is. Ours happens to be commercial office leasing. If you're a land salesperson and that's what you do, everyone in your office needs to know that starting off. And then from there, if you become an expert in a field, ask your OPs, ask your leaders in your office to start to help make you, or put you, I guess, on a platform out there to the other market centers. Get out to Mega Camp, get out to all of these events and network. I mean, no one's going to do it for you. I think you'd agree, Pete, that we're hustling this pretty hard. So, start local and then from there, let it build.
I love it. All right, Pete. So one of the unique things that I know about you guys is that you don't charge for your services. So if you're going to help me renegotiate my lease, do I have this right? You're gonna look at all that for me for free.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll analyze your lease for you, store it in our database, take a look for you free of charge. And then the way that our process kind of works is we're bringing value to the landlord. We're bringing them a high credit tenant who's going to be there for an extended period of time, and with that comes a fee, and that's our fee that we'll charge the landlord, but the tenant doesn't have to worry about that.
So I was a residential sales agent. So in my vernacular, it's almost a buyer's agent commission.
Exactly.
To think about it. So what I love about your model, if I'm out there and I'm just starting out my career, and I want to grow up and be like Pete, then let's just kind of build the model together. The very first thing you said was, and correct me if I'm wrong, build a large sphere of influence, a lot of people that can help you.
100%.
Step 2, provide value up front for free and just kind of get your foot in the door, for lack of a better term.
Yep.
Number 3, be an expert at what you do, which also provides amazing value. And when you win, the fee comes later. Is that a fair and accurate statement?
100%. And I think anyone that's worked with Pete and I would realize that we're not fee hungry guys. We're not worried about that. There's been situations here where we're coming in quite literally the 11th hour, just working on one in California. I was on an email chain with you, Mark, where, we're not getting paid on that, but it's not about that. It's about helping that, region with what they were working on. And, those things pay off in ways that you can't really put a dollar amount on. And I think that's so important. So often in real estate, especially new people, listen, we've all been there. We want to make $1, right? We want to make a living. But if you go after that first, I truly think that that's just the wrong way to approach it. It should be helping people first, and the rest takes care of itself.
I love it. All right, Pete. Any closing thoughts here? I want to grow up and be like Pete. What should I do?
No, just work hard, become an expert, and see how you can bring value to people. I mean, that's really the main thing is, you get that commission when you bring value to people, and you bring value by being an expert at what you do.
Ooh, all right, you sparked an idea. So what percentage of the leases that you see, because you're the guy that's really digging into the details here, what percentage of the leases that you see right now are unfavorable to the tenant, you would say?
That's tough, and I wouldn't put an exact percent on any number, but I'd say 75% of leases have some sort of. I mean, if we're just talking one unfavorable term, it could be 85% of leases have one unfavorable term in there. And some are more extensive than others. Some might just be the tenant improvement allowance that was agreed upon at commencement. Some might be the rental increases that happen throughout the lease and whatnot. But yeah, I'd say anywhere upwards to 85%.
So Ty, phrased differently, because you said you're kind of the sales guy of this team, if you will. Yep. And so what percentage of tenants need your services?
I honestly think 100%. When I think of what we do, I mean, at the end of the day, you can't lose by at least putting the lease in front of us. I've said this to multiple groups. Listen, I take pride in what I do, just like a lot of the OPs and decision makers do. A lot of people will tell us, hey, we're taken care of, all good. Send us the lease. We'll review it, and if there's anything there, and there almost always is at least one thing there, we're here to help, and we're not charging anything. I just want to be very clear there.
I love it. So you're based out of Philadelphia, but you're actually working the entire United States right now, correct?
Yep, we're wrapping up Houston, a deal down in Houston today.
Thanks for all you do. We so appreciate you. You're helping people thrive in an otherwise ambiguous time in our industry. So thank you, thank you, thank you.